Yo, what's going on, y'all?
What's happening, everybody?
How is everybody doing? Once again, I'm still without a camera, but
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon's
no, it's eBay that it's unreliable.
Oh, okay.
eBay. Yep.
Gotta love unreliable.
So yeah, it might not be here for another week, but we'll see. Hopefully it will.
Okay.
Tracking's been intermittent, but regardless, we're already to week 12 stream, and
we've made it to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but we've had kind of an eventful past 24 hours. I mean, just earlier today, this old Darrell Henderson news.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
It wasn't. It was no secret that, for whatever reason, they didn't really like Darrell Henderson. It seemed like that coaching staff, ever since they drafted him, they've been kind of down on him. Waving him outright, I mean, it's a couple of things. I think the Rams are waving the white flag on their season here a little bit.
Yep.
The writing's on the wall for them. So they're just, they're going back to the well, I guess, with Cam Akers. They're trying to rehabilitate that relationship, I guess. And then Kyron Williams becomes a little more interesting. I don't know what that's, in totality though, what that was all about.
But then coupled with that, we got the whole Melvin Gordon situation with him being released outright. Yeah. So maybe the Rams are thinking, hey, we can go out and get Melvin Gordon. He's out on the market.
But why?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I can't claim to really have that much of an idea of what they're doing, man. I'm speculating. You know this.
Yeah, so the Gordon one I think makes a little more sense, right? Because like the Rams, the Broncos are going nowhere. This year has clearly spiraled out for both of these teams. I think they both realize that. Gordon is 29 years old and just fumbled for the 6th time this year, right? For whatever reason, his performance is waning pretty poorly.
Yeah, but they
right
just
now.
Lost Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I
know. It's weird. Again, we got a bunch of weird running back releases, starting with Benjamin. Now Melvin Gordon, the same week that Chase Edmonds gets hurt. I mean, it's weird. This is the team that brought in Marlon Mack. Is he gonna see? It's crazy.
Yeah, he might. I think they were decided they were done with Melvin Gordon and his inability to hold on to the football.
Yeah,
and that's not totally surprising to see a going nowhere fast team release a 29-year-old running back. The Henderson one is a little weirder because he's 24. Yeah, you're just gonna. I guess they know something we don't, but they're just. They decided that didn't matter and they were done with him.
Yeah.
Little confusing. So as it pertains to, Denver, and we kind of already got to LA, Cam Akers goes back to being the starter, I guess. Kyron Williams becomes an intriguing stash insurance policy. As for Denver, I mean, it's the Latavius Murray show. Welcome to 2022. It's the Latavius Murray show in Denver. And I guess he's going to get all the work because, to your point, Chase Edmonds is also out. This must mean Marlon Mack is going to become activated and they'll sign somebody if they haven't already. Maybe Henderson. That I could see more likely than the Rams going after Gordon. Because again, at least Henderson is only 24.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out over the next 24 hours.
Right, but somebody, let's put it this way: there's gonna be a backfield unsettled all of a sudden out of this that we weren't, or that you weren't necessarily maybe planning for. So just be prepared. I don't know if it'll be Kansas City. I don't know if it'll be Baltimore, somewhere else, Tampa, Green Bay. I don't know. Not Green Bay. I almost said Green Bay. Chicago. I don't know. I'm not sure. So just be ready, be on your toes.
Cincinnati, what's going on with? I know it should just be a concussion for Joe Mixon, but what's going on with Joe Mixon?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. Speculating here, but regardless, Arizona, it'll be an interesting 24 to 48 hours with respect to all that.
So to that point, I guess now for waivers, and then we'll get into questions. We see everybody's questions.
Yep.
Looking forward to getting to those. But as far as waivers tonight, to that point, like a Latavius Murray, yeah, you can prioritize him. Like first waiver claim, or at this point, most, if not all of your FOB, sure, go for it. Because I don't know that he's necessarily getting usurped no matter what happens. Again, I don't think...
He should be a volume-based RB2. I mean...
Yeah. If Darrell Henderson comes there, okay, fine. But, like, you're still feeling fine about Latavius Murray as the 1A at this point. With the Rams, yeah, Cam Akers is worth a pickup. Again, probably most of your FOB. I'm not, I don't think Melvin Gordon is an option for the Rams. I think they're just going to promote from within house and just ride out the season, which is clearly lost for them at this point.
In terms of running back pickups, though, for me, it would go. I mean, it would start with Murray.
Yeah.
And then if I needed a play for next week, it would be Samaje Perine. If next week is the only thing that I'm looking at now, it's just one win at a time. I can't look too far ahead. It's Samaje Perine, number 2. If not, he gets knocked down a few pegs. And Cam Akers is interesting, but in both situations, I think he's the third running back that I would want. Because I want James Cook over him too.
Over Murray?
I want James Cook over Cam Akers.
Oh,
I want Murray, James Cook, Cam Akers, Perine, if I'm not trying to just win next week, in which case Perine gets that number 2 spot.
Yup.
Since this is a waiver show, I just, talk just a little bit about the guys that should be on waivers before we get into all these questions.
Right. Yeah, no. Only makes sense to hopefully, that answers a few questions.
Yep.
But with that, I don't think there's anything else. Oh, just Zach Wilson. We'll see.
Man, yeah.
We'll see what happens there. Yeah. He's on thin ice, man.
I think it's less than that, bro. I don't think we see him as a starter anymore. I do not think we see him as a starter moving forward for the Jets, at least. I think it's Mike White time.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The performance has been awful.
Yeah.
I thought Zach Wilson would be a little bit more of an intriguing QB2 option this year. Save for like a week or two of solid, not even good, just solid performances. That has not panned out. He doesn't look good. Point blank. I don't know that he's long-term material as a starter at this point.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, look, we see young players turn it around all the time, but he is missing on the easiest of throws out there.
But it's not even like you could look at it and say, hey, tough situation here. He's been given the short end of the stick, like with Darnold. He's going to go elsewhere, and hopefully he succeeds when he goes to Carolina or something like that. I don't even see Zach Wilson having he's more Josh Rosen to me than he is Sam Darnold, in that I don't even really think he gets a second fair shake.
He'll get backup opportunities for the next...
Right, but I don't think he's a serious starter for the next few seasons outside of barring crazy injuries.
Maybe at the start of next year, maybe, but that's like, I don't even know how good I feel about that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, at this point, downgrade all Jets.
And speaking of Sam Darnold is now starting
He's
for
going
the
to start
Panthers.
for the Panthers.
This is good for pretty much every pass catcher as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'm not going crazy here because it is Sam Darnold, but at least with Sam Darnold over the first 4 games of last year, DJ Moore was the wide receiver 4 over that span.
Yeah, he was putting up huge numbers to start last season. Yeah,
right.
And that was with Darnold vulturing a bunch of scores as well on the ground. So
at least he's going to be getting volume, which is what he wasn't going to be getting with Baker Mayfield, which is why we were hoping he was going to be starting with PJ Walker. Now he gets an even better option, at least for him, in terms of producing for fantasy, just based off of the volume that he's going to be getting consistently moving forward with Sam Darnold.
Yep. Good to call that out. So DJ Moore, slight bump. I guess Foreman, slight bump, especially after now that he's off of that Baltimore game.
Yep.
And then downgrade Jets. Like, just whether it's Wilson, whether it's White. Honestly, I guess with Mike White in there, does that make Elijah Moore a pickup? Because that's who
I don't
he
even
did
know if
well
it's
with
really
last
downgrade Jets. How much were we really valuing them? We were only intrigued in them because we were only intrigued in Garrett Wilson because there wasn't a Corey Davis in the situation.
Yeah, Davis has had solid games. The running backs have.
But that was with a quarterback throwing 49 to 62 times a game, and it might swing that way again. It's just.
Wilson had a good game.
I don't know. My point being, I don't know if I'm downgrading this offense because of a move from quarterback. I think I'm upgrading this offense moving forward just a little bit, because how much worse can you get than what Zach Wilson was giving you?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. But I guess to that point, I don't know if that I can upgrade them either.
Slight upgrade.
All right. Maybe. I don't know. But those are... I don't know. Those are, I think, the biggest talking points heading into this week as far as job potential here.
Yeah, you got OBJ news out there. You got a couple other pieces of news out there. But let's start getting to some of these questions.
Him and the Cowboys are getting very flirty.
And the Giants. I mean,
yeah, well,
Saquon's tweeting this and all that.
Yeah. All right.
But regardless, Oaquis, what's going on, man? Randy Miller, good to see you. He's got a kicker question to kick things off.
Suck up or Gano rest of season. I mean, it was a rough game for the Giants at home against the Lions, which was a little unexpected, to say the least. Gano has some tough matchups, but Gano has some tough matchups, and a lot of them are outside. And this is when the winds. This is when that stadium in East Rutherford can become that kind of wind tunnel that it becomes when the weather starts to get colder. Probably suck up, because at least he's attached to Brady, right? And they'll play some home games in Florida, and then Week 16 is in a dome in Arizona. Week 17 is at home again. Much more likely that the weather is better. Just because he's attached to Brady, who is not finishing touchdown drives this year, mind you.
Yeah.
But also going to play in some better weather, in some more favorable matchups. This game coming up, Week 12 in Cleveland, actually looks like the last potential cold weather game of the year for them. And it's not too early to start worrying, or it's not too late in the season to start worrying about that. I think based on those intangibles, I'd go suck up.
There you go. And Randy, yes, I do think that the Dolphins D is a good start against Houston this week.
We got a super from Senior Road. Thanks, Senior.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that. Thank you very much, man.
Not necessary, but much appreciated.
Let's
Jameson
go straight
Williams
down to that. Yeah, but I think the Dolphins are a good start this week.
Absolutely. Agreed. Anybody against Houston is good, even on the road. He has to cut one now that Jameson Williams is coming off the PUP list. What's the
Alec Pierce or Trey McBride? Who's your tight end?
I mean, do you have to make this move? Has he been? What is his status? Do you have to pull him off IR? I think he's still eligible for IR.
Trey McBride is not a must-hold for me.
No, he's not. I mean, if you're otherwise not going to make any moves, I don't think you need to move him off of IR yet. See if you can put a waiver claim in with one of those guys for somebody who's available without having to, if you get that notification, you have an ineligible player on IR. If you don't get that notification, then you don't have to move him off IR yet, which I'm pretty sure is the case.
So try that out and swap somebody out for Trey McBride.
Yeah, try adding. I don't know who's on the wire. Based on some of these pieces, it might be slim pickings, but see if you can make a pickup, drop Trey McBride while holding JMO in an IR spot. You don't have to move him out yet. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean,
see who's there. Let us know who's out there.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But Trey McBride is the cuttable piece, regardless of whichever way you go with the move or not. But thank you very much for the super.
Yeah, appreciate it. Oaquas has been stashing Kyron Williams.
Hey,
man,
it's a good stash. I know Nick has been stashing him too in one of our leagues.
He's been that dude where I've like drop Riyadh for like 3 weeks. Like once a guy becomes IR eligible, I stash or IR that guy, add Kyron, and then once he's questionable again, it's like, all right, sorry Kyron, I'll see you in 3 days. Like I've been doing that for a few weeks. Yeah, he's a little more interesting now, and I think he's averaged 5 yards a touch.
And look, I mean, he was a guy before.
Not a great offense though.
He was a guy before he came into the league, really before the draft process really started, when we were first really starting to dig into the prospects like Isaiah Spiller and Breece Hall and Zach Charbonnet at the time, because he hadn't committed for one more season. Kyron Williams was the RB3 in this class. He was ahead of Rachaad White and James Cook. He was right behind Kenneth Walker. And it was really a question as to, I mean, he was ahead of Kenneth Walker, right behind Isaiah Spiller and Breece Hall at the time. And then he had the combine issues where he might have been dealing with an injury, but he ran a 4.7, which wasn't very good for running back time, and tumbled down the draft. But he was one of the most talented running back prospects in this draft, and was that dual threat running back that you like a James White or something like that. So yeah, I think he's the one to own, because Akers is so hit or miss and clearly just a first and second down plotter at this point.
He's worth a pickup though.
They're both worth pickups.
To bounce over to Eric's question.
Kyron Williams is the more enticing option, especially in half PPR and PPR leagues.
Akers is the starter. I can't go there. Kyron is interesting, but Akers got the work and the snaps. Akers, if both are available, and again, let's say a situation where I need a win this week and like I need all options available to me, it's Akers. But if you're set at running back, maybe Akers is already gone. I agree, Kyron Williams is an interesting stash and hold. But if I need a play this week, I would play Akers.
I mean, Kyron Williams played 55% of the snaps last week. Cam Akers played 39% of the snaps last week. So, I mean, I want the guy that's played more of the snaps and has the pass catching down role in a half PPR and PPR league. So you can have Cam Akers. I want Kyron Williams in those situations. He's already playing more snaps. He's given me this is exactly the same situation that Isaiah Pacheco was in when we hopped in on the Isaiah Pacheco train. He was getting more snaps than CEH. He was getting more snaps than McKinnon. And then it was like, all right, he's okay to start as an RB2. I'm not saying that Kyron Williams is okay to start as an RB2. I'm saying this is the same exact situation that Isaiah Pacheco was in 1 to 2 weeks ago. So I'd rather have Kyron Williams.
Williams had 8 touches. Akers had 14. He did lead the team in snaps. But Akers led the team in touches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
But are they the Brian Robinson touches where you want the other running back? Like I'm not saying you don't want Cam Akers.
I want Akers this week. I want Kyron Williams.
Yes. There you go. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And that answers your question too, Eric. Thanks for joining us.
But yes, he's worth a pickup.
Yes,
for this
absolutely.
Week, for this week.
Randy, can I trade one of my stars, Mixon, ETN, Walker, Evans, or Higgins, and trust DJ Moore at my flex?
No.
No, I think it's great that you have DJ Moore, and now that Sam Darnold is starting there, that's great. But you still need that depth. So I wouldn't be trading anybody.
I mean, Mixon's got the concussion, highly unlikely to go this week, and just like that, boom, like you're down to those are your ETN, Walker, Evans, and Higgins are your starters. You don't want to give one of those guys up if this is like based on can I trade one of my stars? Like, does that mean you're adding just like some depth pieces because you're trusting DJ Moore? That's kind of like I feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, that's kind of, like, the vibe I'm getting from this question. If that's the case, like, Mixon just went down. Like, boom. Walker missed a game earlier in the season, didn't he? Did he get hurt? Missed one game. It's just, like, I don't want to play with that. Like John already said, I have a bunch of studs. Like, if one goes down and I trade another, all of a sudden, I don't have 5, I have 3. Right? Like, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, especially since Mixon you might not be able to rely on him this week. So that hurts. Yeah. You know what I mean? No. So, yeah. And Eric, would you guys cut Tony in a dynasty league? Absolutely not. He is only 23 years old.
No,
I'm not doing that. It's just here's what I'm doing with Tony in a dynasty league. The next time he has a 2-game stretch where he puts together 2 good games, I'm selling high. Because it's clear that he's kind of the same player with more, spike week capability. But he's still a player that's going to be that's a threat to get injured on any given play. And I don't want a guy like that in my dynasty league. I don't want a chronic injury risk.
Right.
So I'm cutting bait, and you should be able to get a decent amount once he's healthy and comes off, a 2-game stretch. I'm not saying it happens this year, but in a dynasty league, you're going to have to be patient. It might be in 2023. But when he's the next 2-game stretch you're coming off with Kadarius Toney, trade him to the highest bidder. And I'm doing the opposite with AJ Dillon. He's not a drop. He's just now Alexander Madison when we thought he was more than that.
Yeah.
He's not beefy. A drop though.
He's beefy Madison.
Yeah.
No, I can't bring myself to drop him. But he's on the bench comfortably as long as Aaron Jones is in there.
Yep. And Greg Z, good to see you. Happy Tuesday.
He's a drop in the play, like in a must win. Once we're in the playoffs, if you need the roster spot, different story. But right now, still no.
And if you have AJ or Aaron Jones and somebody drops Dillon, pick him up.
Yeah, right. Just hang on to him.
Yep. But Greg Z, a few questions this week. Komet,
what's up, Greg?
Juwan Johnson or Greg Dulcich, and defense Washington, Kansas City, or Denver. Shout out to Juwan Johnson.
He's playing very well. Yeah.
He over the last 6 weeks, I think he's the tight end 2.
Might as well just pick him up because Michael Thomas isn't coming back. I guess Andy Dalton is the guy, and Dalton appears to like to go to him. Komet, I think, just maybe lost his quarterback, potentially for the season. And Dulcich has Russell Wilson, who I'm not sure is better than Andy Dalton at this point. Juwan. As far as defense, Kansas City's enticing because it's probably going to be a backup quarterback for the Rams. I'm not sure what are those road games for the Broncos. That's a road game. They're in Carolina. That makes them a little less enticing. Washington is at home against Atlanta. That makes them a little more enticing. Chiefs are home against the Rams. I'd probably say the Chiefs first and then Washington, Greg.
I mean, I like the Broncos. Aren't they going up against Carolina?
Yeah.
Didn't the I mean, now the Ravens are a much better unit, but the Ravens had their best year or day of their year thus far.
Well, Broncos just did nothing special against the Raiders. Like 22 points
The
allowed.
Raiders are a better offense than the Broncos. They are.
Well, whatever. I don't want. The point is, I just don't want the Denver. They're not that good. I don't want the Denver defense right now. The Raiders aren't that good.
No, it's just that Carolina is that bad. I'm targeting Carolina.
Yeah, but the problem is Denver is not good enough for me to feel okay about that. I would go with the better. I would. Yeah, they're bad. They're not. They're bad, and the team stinks. When the team starts to stink, you know, you got to start worrying about those extra intangibles. I don't want to rely on a bad team. I want to rely on a good team even in a not great situation. I would say the Chiefs again, and Wofford is a backup quarterback himself, and the Rams are down Cooper Kupp. There's nothing scary about the Rams.
Oh yeah, I
now.
wasn't factoring that in. My bad.
Yeah, no, the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs one, and then Washington.
No, you're right. It's the Chiefs.
Denver,
but I mean, if it was Matt Stafford, I'd be starting Broncos, and I'd be pretty adamant about it. But regardless, that's not the case.
Washington is
Kansas
also,
City against Wofford.
And then Washington is second over Denver if you miss out on KC. That pass rush is pretty good. Washington's defense clears Denver's easily. And that situation does too. Washington's at home.
ATL hasn't been giving up a lot of fantasy points to opposing.
But they're on the road. They're on the road. Play home teams. Play home teams.
All right. Well, regardless, go and try to get KC.
KC, then Washington. I wouldn't even make Denver third. No.
And JP, thanks for joining us. Gonna get straight to it. Do I play Jamar Chase over Christian Watson and Latavius Murray this weekend? If Jamar Chase is playing, you play him.
Yes. If he's active with no injury designation, Jamar Chase is in your lineup.
And that college football question is a question for Nick, because honestly, I haven't had the time to tune into any college football this week or this year.
Where is that game? Is it in? It's in Ohio. It's in Columbus, right? Last year's was in the Big House. Ohio State. They've been the better team in this rivalry outside of last year. The game it's a home game for Ohio State. It's going to be a great game. It's 2 versus 3. They're both undefeated. It's going to be a game. It has a chance to be one of if not the game of the year. Ohio State. CJ Stroud is a top 2 or 3 pick in the NFL draft, right? Ohio State.
And Mr. Heinen, heavy underdog this week, it looks like. So he's got 2 separate questions here. Pick up Jarvis Landry or Alec Pierce, and Kyren Williams or James Cook. Landry for sure.
Landry over Pierce. Pierce is 3rd in the pecking order. Landry should be 2 ahead, with just Olave ahead of him. And got involved last week in his return. I'll take a veteran over a rookie who's been a bit erratic of late at this point in the season.
And then it's Kyren Williams or James Cook.
Heavy underdog. I mean, Cook in a great matchup, right? I don't
playing Detroit.
Williams,
yeah,
it's a great matchup. They just played there. He had a good game. It was a different opponent. Again, what did I say? The Browns can't stop. Browns can't stop anybody.
Yeah, this might be the best week that we see from James Cook, but I still like what I saw from James Cook.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a great matchup. I mean, the Giants couldn't take advantage of it for some reason, but by the numbers, it's a good matchup. And the Bills' offense clears both the Rams and the Giants. Rams. What I say Rams because of the Kyren Williams pickup, and I say the Giants because they couldn't get anything going against this same defense. So Cook, if you're the heavy underdog, which I think means you're looking for you need a win this week, or then James Cook. If you're a heavy underdog but you're 7-3, then Kyren Williams.
Now they're actually by the numbers over the course of the season. There hasn't been that much of a difference between the fantasy points against that the Detroit Lions give a team and the fantasy points against that the Kansas City Chiefs give a team for running backs.
That's fine.
21.75 versus 21.55, so it's a 0.2 difference.
Okay, so yeah, so all things equal, give me the guy in the better offense.
Yep. Who they're trying to use. Like they gave him the ball a significant amount of times last week. They're trying to use him. Raja Usman, safe to fire up Keenan Allen over Ayuk. Ooh.
I wouldn't say safe. And
I don't want to not start Ayuk anymore, bro. You see what he's been doing?
He is the touchdown getter of that offense.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Keenan Allen he had a successful return, probably, about as good as you could hope, right? When you miss 10 games or whatever, what was it, 5 for 94? Strong return. And with Mike Williams potentially missing another week, he's intriguing. Who does San Francisco get this week? They just played the short week in Mexico City.
The Saints.
Oh, that's right. Where is that game? It's in San Francisco. I'm gonna have to think about this one. If Mike Williams is out, that's gonna sway my decision. As long as Keenan Allen is avoiding the injury report this week, that's going to sway my decision.
I think Mike Williams is going to be out, dude.
I think he's going to be out, but we'll see. Keenan Allen is a floor play. Ayuk is the ceiling play. Tentatively.
Yeah. And Allen I just might go Ayuk. Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 24, wide receiver 10, wide receiver 36, and wide receiver 10 over the last 5 weeks.
So he's got the floor of a wide receiver 3, but the upside of a 1.
I'm just going with that. I'm rolling with that because, Keenan Allen might give you he might be the steady wide receiver 2, but there's a 50% chance that Ayuk gives you that value too, but he has a 25% chance to get you more. So I'm just going Ayuk.
It depends on what you need. If you're a heavy underdog, Ayuk. If it's close, then I would probably do Keenan Allen.
And Pollard is a full lineup lock for me at this point moving forward.
Yeah, you don't need to. He's. I don't even know what to. I don't know what to say at this point. He doesn't even need Zeke to be out of the lineup.
Yeah.
To be an RB1. Now, they're not going to have, 40 to 3 games happen once or twice a season, right? But
what happened to Zeke as soon as the game ended? He went from healthy to questionable if you were paying attention in your sleeper app.
Yeah, he's nursing a knee. Knee.
So I'm rocking with Pollard, man.
Yeah, no, he's in your lineup.
He might be the best offensive weapon in that offense. He might be a better offensive weapon than even CeeDee Lamb.
He might be.
Greg Z also start sit 2 wide receiver, 2 running back in a flex, trying to field the option. JT, Travis Etienne, Jeff Wilson, Isaiah Pacheco, Lenny, Rashad White, Tyreek, Chris Olave, Terry Gabe, Josh P.
Yeah, there's too many good options here. I mean, look, it's Tyreek for sure. You know that. It's Taylor. You know that. It's ETN. Let's see what the Bucs practice reports look like, and we go from there. I mean,
can you trade
Taylor
yet? Can you still trade?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if you can still trade, I'm trying to trade for a Saquon with the pieces that you have, and I'm trying to consolidate. But regardless, JT, Travis Etienne for the 2 running backs. For me, for the wide receivers, it's Tyreek, and then
Olave.
Is it Olave for you? Because, yes, he showed his ceiling again last week, but, I mean, over the past, 5 weeks, he hasn't shown his ceiling. So it was 1 out of 5 weeks. Or do you go with the guy like Terry, who has had, in the past 5 weeks, 4 good ones and had a dud last week?
Yeah, I guess by the numbers,
I think I'll go Terry. Tyreek and Terry. And then in the flex, then you go Chris Olave.
Gabe sits. Yeah, I would sit. I guess I'd sit Gabe in a second, straight road sort of game for the Bills, and also
Chris Olave is just a safer option.
Allen's arm is being weird.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would probably do.
Tyreek and Terry, JT and Travis, and then Chris Olave in the flex, man.
Yeah.
Dallas or Washington defense?
are either of them droppable for rest of the season? Pretty much outside of a couple of defenses, they're all droppable. I guess Dallas is more likely to be undroppable than Washington. Because you have Dallas, I would drop Washington. You could just drop Washington. Yep. You have Dallas. What's going on, Alex? Good to see you.
What's going on, Alex? Tim Shields. Yep, good to see you. Trying to get Latavius Murray for my first waiver spot. Should you switch out the Dallas kicker for no? Pick up Dortch and drop Tony. I mean, how long term is this Rondale Moore injury?
Don't know. I don't know. It was a groin. I think it was a groin injury. Didn't see. I didn't see any recent updates. They only just played last night.
Right.
There's been no update. There's been no update on this. So I don't know if I'm picking up Dortch yet. I'm not dropping. I don't think I would drop Tony.
He's the guy that you hope just falls through waivers and you can pick him up if you wake up early enough. Like, that's who Dortch is to me. He's not a guy I'm bidding any money on. He's a guy that I'm hoping slips through the cracks and I can pick him up before anybody else does.
Yeah. I mean, as for the kicker, you can play Maher. I mean, he's at home.
Yeah.
He's at home.
And, Senor Rojo, is that you can pick up Freiermuth and drop Trey McBride? I would do that in a second.
Yeah.
Or is that who is your tight end? That might be the answer to that question, because why would Freiermuth be on the wire?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can cut Trey McBride.
Yeah, easy.
Yep. And if Chase can't go, should I play Paris Campbell against Pittsburgh, Michael Carter against Chicago, or Boyd versus Tennessee? I think I would play Boyd. If Chase can't go, just play Boyd. If you have Boyd.
Boyd have a quiet game yesterday.
Yeah, but
still had 7 targets. He's attached
right.
to Joe. Yeah, probably just do that.
Yeah.
They're playing Tennessee, who are getting carved up through the air. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, still playing 82% of snaps.
Yeah.
Cadillac, thanks for joining us. Trey Debo, Stevenson, and A-Rob for Barkley and Lockett.
Your other wide receivers are Hopkins, Hollywood, Amon-Ra, and Garrett Wilson. Yeah. Who are your other running backs?
I think I would do that because
I guess I would do that trade.
A-Rob isn't much to me, and going from Debo to Lockett. Lockett's been the better receiver this year, and you're getting a clear upgrade going from Stevenson to Barkley.
You're going from Ramondre to Saquon. Yeah. No, that's yeah. Yeah, it's a good trade. Yeah, go ahead, Cadillac. Pull the trigger on that.
And Tim, should I drop Deontay and pick up Treylon Burks? That's crazy that we're here. But
if you need a guy, if you need a depth wide receiver, then sure. Yeah. I mean, at this point, Deontay's he's not giving anybody anything right now. So yeah, sure. As far as Taysom, I don't know. It seems like he'll continue to mix in. Dalton's going to start. The Saints don't have a first-round pick this year, so they don't have that much incentive to eventually tank things away. And what are you gaining at this point by playing Taysom at quarterback? You already know what he can do at quarterback. So I think they're just going to continue what they have been doing. He mixes in in wildcat packages. It works sometimes. Other times it doesn't matter. I don't know. If as far as like being able to play him at your tight end spot, yeah. I mean, sometimes he might get you 20. He might get you 2.
I'd rather have Juwan Johnson. Yeah. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, I'd rather have Juwan Johnson. Taysom Hill is what he is. Unpredictable.
Yep.
I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad way.
Jay Cross Country, good to see you.
What's up, Jay?
What's the news on Hollywood and Chase?
They're
I don't know any. We don't have any news right now.
Yeah, I mean they're tracking to play, or they're tracking to play soon. Chase is reportedly not using crutches anymore in the team facility. Like Wednesday is going to be a big day, and as for Hollywood, it was looking like there was a chance he was available for Monday night. They ultimately ruled him out, I think, on Sunday. He was ruled out. How close was he? I guess we truly don't know that just yet. Let's see what happens on Wednesday. Wednesday practice reports are the most telling.
Yep.
But I did see on a Yahoo update that Chase has shed the crutches. So good first step.
And Abraham Pena trade Najee and Terry for Chubb. Got Jacobs, Montgomery, Sanders, Jefferson, Pittman, Sutton, and Boyd.
Could you do Najee and Sutton instead of Terry? Probably not, or I would even. Who would you rather have, Terry or Pittman? I guess Pittman because Wentz might come back. Although Terry's been on a pretty good stretch outside of last week.
I would rather Wentz didn't come back.
Well, that's what I really want.
Right.
I want Wentz for not to come back. Could you? Yeah.
Yeah. Try Sutton first.
Try Sutton first.
And honestly, can you do Sutton and Boyd and Najee? And then pick up.
That's what it came to. And
then pick up a lesser than Boyd piece on his roster. That a lesser wide receiver on his roster than Boyd. Or just depending on what's on the wire, can you just fill that position from the wire and just do a 3-for-1?
Yeah.
Because you got Jefferson, you're playing him. You got Pittman, you're playing him now that Matt Ryan is back. You got Terry in this situation, and you're playing him. So outside of an injury fill-in over the next couple of weeks, you're not going to play Boyd. And you're doing this to consolidate your roster and get all of the best pieces for the playoffs. So
yeah, true.
So yeah, try if you can't do the 2-for-1 with Najee and Sutton, try Najee, Sutton, and Boyd. Anthony Ramos, who do you like this week? Full PPR, Isaiah Pacheco or Rashad White? Man, that is a tough question.
Tentatively Pacheco, because only for right now we know Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been diagnosed with a high ankle sprain. That's guaranteed missed time. But we don't know what the status is of Lenny. We don't know where Leonard Fournette is after suffering, I think, what was a hip injury in the Munich game. Left early, didn't return. He's been listed as doubtful since that game. The Bucs were on bye last week. If Fournette is out, then it's Rashad White against Cleveland. It might be Rashad White.
I would rather Rashad White.
I want Rashad White even if Leonard Fournette is back. Yeah, because his talent is incredibly intriguing, and 2,
he catches passes.
Cleveland.
And 3, he catches passes, whereas Isaiah Pacheco probably not going to, because all that role is going to Jerick McKinnon, who does get an uptick in usage moving forward too, and he is now on my radar, whereas Sunday and Saturday he was not.
Yeah. Rashad White. Oh man, it'll be very interesting to see if Fournette is healthy. It'll be very interesting to see who takes the first snap in that game.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. But they're playing Cleveland, and you know what I like to say about Cleveland's defense this year?
What? What's that? Say it again.
They stink. They stink. And as far as the defenses, it's man, they're both enticing, but I still got to go with the Eagles.
Eagles defense.
And they're at home. The Packers are grasping at straws right now on offense.
Rodgers, it's not like they figured it out. Yeah. I mean,
Rodgers looked terrible on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Missing multiple throws that he normally routinely makes.
Yeah, he just ended up having a few throws go their way over the last 2 weeks to the same person. Now, I'm not saying that's an aberration. I think they continue to link up over the course of the rest of the season and hopefully into next season. But not enough for me to stray away from one of the best defenses in the league that just got better. I mean, did you not see that sack from Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh? I didn't even know they made those transactions until last Sunday.
Yeah, they signed both those guys in the middle of the week.
Yeah, and then I look up and it's like, all right, they're both getting sacks. I didn't even know those guys were on their squad. It was on that squad. The rich get richer.
Yeah.
Wild.
Birds.
Yo, Nemo, zombie in the building.
What's up, Nemo? Yeah, we gotta cut. We gotta win. I request. Where's Riley at? I requested Kelsey officially. I want Kelsey on my zombie team now.
Yeah.
So, where's he at? Nemo wants to. He got Justin Jefferson from
There you
Rojo.
go. See, I like how this works. Thanks
It's
for
fun.
making us a zombie. Now the fun begins.
No, I'm actually appreciative that the zombie. At first, I was like, oh. But if
No,
you have
now
a good team and you lose to the zombie, it's like, okay, now you're
and you're
off-
the
now you're
first
off in
one, so
trouble.
you have free reign of the waiver wire. Like,
Yup.
yeah, man.
Come on down. Who's ready? Who else ready to lose? We'll take your players.
Yeah, and camera's still not here from eBay. We'll hopefully I'll get the replacement camera soon. And Greg, you forgot you have Everett on your bench. Everett over Juwan Johnson. I think they're kind of the same. If you need somebody for next week, it's Juwan Johnson. If you need somebody over the course of the next few weeks, rest of the season, I think it's Everett, because we can't rely on Mike Williams moving forward. And for what it's worth, Keenan Allen, yes, he made it through 1 week. Who's to say he doesn't suffer a setback later on? So,
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't. Who knows?
So no, Everett into the future, but Juwan Johnson for next week for sure, because
Juwan Johnson for next
over the
week.
last 5 weeks he was the tight end. He's been the tight end 3 behind Kelsey and Kittle. But what do we miss?
Damien, I don't think anybody here is undefeated. Is anybody here undefeated anywhere in anything?
No.
I'm not.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, KC over Miami D.
Yeah.
Greg. Mr. Heinen, Pierce led the team in targets last week and has the Steelers this week.
Yeah, he should have should have a chance for a solid week. The problem now is Houston's offense is very easy to figure out for defenses, even if they're not great defenses. Stack the box. But he's been getting it done.
Is that an Alec Pierce or a Damian Pierce question? I thought that was a Alec Pierce.
No, Damian Pierce.
Because he asked earlier Jarvis or Alec Pierce.
Oh, Alec Pierce.
Have you underdog, right?
And Alec Pierce he does get the Steelers this week.
Yeah, I think Alec Pierce. I'm not super high on Alec Pierce moving the rest of the season. Paris Campbell took his job.
Well, for now, I guess, yeah.
Like,
Matt Ryan seems to like throwing it to him.
Yep.
Wait, did we say KC over Miami? No, if Miami's available, Miami 1, KC 2, Greg. Miami against Houston, that's number 1.
No, for me, it is KC with John Wofford.
Miami, well, I don't know that John Wofford isn't better than Davis Mills. And the Dolphins are at home in that game. The Texans stink. I would play the Dolphins. And the Dolphins have good numbers on defense at home.
The
Miami
Texans
1
do
for
stink,
me.
so it's close.
Yeah,
but
Miami
for me,
1
we're
for
split.
me. KC
For me, it's
2.
KC. Reverse SF need 3 out of these guys to start: Cook, Ramondre, Jacobs, or ETN. Or I do have Pittman and Keenan Allen that could switch out for one of the 3 running backs at the flex. Torn on who to start. Well, I mean, Cook, Ramondre, and who you got between Jacobs and ETN?
I mean, you have to play Jacobs. Yeah.
I guess it's a question. I mean, it's ETN, Jacobs.
I mean, yeah, I guess just play the running backs. I don't know.
Do you not play Cook? Or do you play Cook and not Stevenson because of the presence of Damian Harris and what he did last week? Do you not play? Is the odd man out Ramondre? Is my point.
No, I think the odd man out is ETN.
Okay.
It's a tougher matchup against Baltimore. They're not a great defense, but it's not a good matchup by the numbers. So just play the good players in the good matchups as opposed to the good players in the bad ones. It's a crapshoot. These are all really good options. It's a good problem to have, but to that point, it's a crapshoot. Somebody might pop off on your bench. Probably a good chance of that. So I would, Cook, Jacobs, and and I think the Vikings are actually a decent matchup for opposing running backs. So Ramondre. Plus, they just gave up a 40 burger. I know the Cowboys are a better offense than the Patriots, but by the numbers, it's a good matchup. And on the road, Stevenson, should have a higher opportunity, more of an opportunity to catch passes. Yeah, I would just do those first 3 running backs. It's a good problem to have.
I mean, I might be sitting Ramondre because that offense looked stagnant. And now Damian Harris looked better at times than Ramondre did last week.
Ramondre got in there. He did his thing.
Yeah, it's just now. I mean, Harris isn't getting 33% of the snaps. He's getting 45, and then you just got to contend with that. But yeah, I guess you're set either way. All these guys are at floor of high-end RB2s, so you really can't go wrong.
Bronson's question. Do I trade Zeke for Mike Evans or Amari Cooper?
Either, whichever one.
Or as long as your running backs aren't a ghost town, yeah.
I'd go Amari Cooper over Mike Evans.
If you personally prefer Mike Evans, that's fine. Like, if you think you can get him, fine. If you prefer Amari Cooper and you can get him, fine. As long as your running backs aren't total dust, Zeke might be dust himself, but if as long as you have solid other running backs to lean on, because you know how volatile it is, that position, then fine. Yeah.
And Eric, Demarcus Robinson went off in a game where Mark Andrews did not. It's clear right now that this Baltimore offense can really only support one passing game option. And more often than not, that is going to be Mark Andrews. It's not going to be Demarcus Robinson. And Demarcus Robinson really didn't even go into that game as the number 1 wide receiver. We all thought it was going to be Devin Duvernay. And it might switch back into that, the pendulum might swing back into that direction. So we really don't even know.
Yeah.
I think he's a boom-bust wide receiver 4 still. We'll see.
Yeah, can't project anything up beyond that after one really good week. It was a good week. Credit to DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nicely done. But wide receiver 4.
Yeah, and Nemo, we'll see.
What did he do? I admittedly I actually missed a good portion of that Sunday night game. Did he Dicker had himself a whale of a game.
Yeah. 10 points.
40-yarder. Yeah, all right. Okay,
Yep.
Kicker. All right, Dicker, the kicker. He doesn't have a 50 burger on his yet, so. But whatever. He's converting some 40 burgers, so that's good. You like to see it.
And I guess you already have your answer there, Bambo, because I go KC and Nick goes Miami.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong either way. They're probably, 2 or
Both
3 or 3 and 4, right?
Both are good. And Baltimore's good too. Well, I mean, they're not great, but the matchup is good enough. But they're a clear 3 here. Miami, for me, 1, just because Houston, I would say, even with Wofford for the Rams, I mean, it might be pretty rough for the Rams. But that being said, Houston is so bad. I think I do prefer them 1. Kansas City's fine as well. If you put Kansas City, if you put one of those 1 and 1, 2, and you get the second option, it's a fine play.
Yep.
Either way.
And Xavier Dubs, good to see you.
What's happening, Xavier?
Dropped Cam Akers last week, looking like I screwed myself just a little. Yeah, hey, can you pick him up now? Is he available now? And is Kyron Williams available? Can you redeem yourself a little bit? Either way, you lost a share of one of the least valuable offenses in the NFL. So don't kick yourself too hard.
Nah, you're all right. Oh, Rico just gave us a super. Thanks, Rico.
Oh, thanks, Rico. Real quick to the super. Thank you very much again. George Pickens or Treylon Burks this week?
Well, is Pickens going to get suspended? I mean, he got ejected from that game at the end for that helmet-to-helmet hit. Like, he got disqualified.
I haven't heard any news on that.
Yeah, George Pickens got ejected from that game. I don't know if you saw it, for like a late helmet-to-helmet hit, and was ejected from the game. A lot of times that results in a suspension. So you might not. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not, judge, jury, executioner for the NFL here, but just that has a track record, that situation of ending in a 1-game suspension. So the choice honestly might end up being easy here. If Pickens is allowed to play, who's Tennessee have this week? We just got done talking about how they're a good matchup for a wide receiver.
The Bengals. They got the Bengals.
The Bengals. Oh, for Tyler Boyd, right?
Yep.
So Burks. I mean, you want to play wide receivers when their team is playing against an offense like Cincinnati, right? Joe Burrow is awesome. They can keep their foot on the gas. That's a great offense. Titans are going to have to keep pace. Burks.
Yep. And I'm not dropping Warren.
I just don't know. I just don't know if he's gonna. He might get suspended.
I'm not dropping Warren because if you have an IR spot, you might just have to wait a few days, and then you can put him into your IR spot depending on what happens with him. But regardless, I still want the handcuff to Najee. If I can roster him, I mean, I want the handcuff to Najee. In terms of A-Rob or Nico, I want to hold Nico. I'd rather drop A-Rob. And Damian Harris is still looking like a hold for me.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
very solid hold. I'm not trying to drop him at all.
Yeah. Agreed on. Yeah, I guess agreed on A-Rob. Did Nico have? Did he do anything this past week?
He.
I feel like
excuse
no,
me.
I'm pretty sure.
He did. He had more targets, I believe, than Brandon Cooks.
Right.
Brandon Cooks
targets, 5 for 48.
Brandon Cooks had his captaincy revoked.
Yeah, that happened a couple weeks
ago. So like with that whole situation, like they obviously don't want him in the fold. They're gonna keep forcing it Nico Collins' way because
Cooks outproduced him in the yardage department.
Yeah, he did. He had that long reception
48.
down the sideline. If you were watching Red Zone, you saw that.
Cooks had 3 for 70, but Nico had more catches and targets. 7 targets, 5 catches, 48 yards. Cooks had 1 less target, 2 fewer catches.
I'm dropping A-Rob.
Yeah, dropping A-Rob.
661 Beezy, who's starting RB1, RB2, ETN, Jamal, Jeff Wilson, Drake, or Pacheco. The first 2, man.
Jamal Williams for sure, and then I think I gotta go. I mean, Jeff Wilson's got a great matchup against Houston. Jamal for sure, and then 661. We might have to come back to this one on Sunday. The Bills play, or the Lions play on Thanksgiving, so you need an answer for Thursday for sure. Jamal Williams is what, the touchdown leader on the season?
Yeah, you're playing him.
You're playing Jamal Williams.
12 touchdowns on the year. You're playing him.
Yeah, no matter what. I want to play ETN, but Jeff Wilson has a spectacular matchup. I might need to think about that one a little bit more. And Pacheco's interesting too. Be curious to know who your flex option is. Because I maybe want to get 3 of those guys in there if possible, unless you're just playing a bunch of wide receiver studs as well. I don't know. Cadillac has Henry, Connor, and Jeff Wilson. Yeah, you could trade Zeke.
Yep.
Right?
Trade Zeke, get Saquon. Yeah, do that.
Or not Saquon, Mike Evans or Amari Cooper.
Oh, that's what the deal was? My bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was trade Debo, Stevenson, A-Rob for Barkley and Lockett. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking about somebody else. I was thinking that was a different thing. My bad.
Go get Saquon, man.
Yeah, go get Saquon. Cadillac. Sorry,
to that point, I'm not trying to say trade Saquon.
No, I'm trying to acquire him.
Yeah, I mean, now's a buy window. I'm not selling him right now, Xavier. And JP, you are very welcome. Thank you for what we appreciate what you do for us, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for
JP.
Chilling. Devin the Bashio.
It's fun to have this.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Devin?
Would you trade DJ for Pacheco? Yeah.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yeah.
Run, don't walk.
Especially if you have those wide receivers. You don't need DJ Moore right now.
So, dude, yeah, and you could use some running back help.
Yep.
For, without a doubt.
Do it.
Yes.
Make that deal.
Yes. Run, don't walk. Sorry it took so long to get there.
And then trade Perrine to the Mixon owner.
Attach him with Mooney. Like Mooney and Perrine to the Mixon guy.
Yeah, for an upgrade somewhere.
Yeah, because Mooney just lost his quarterback maybe for the year.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's a situation too. We didn't talk about that.
We didn't talk about Justin Fields.
And I was just putting him at basically my QB2 rest of season.
Yeah, I was just about polishing off, calling him a top 5 dynasty quarterback, maybe 6 or 7. But yeah, like he's ascended to that. Tough situation for Justin Fields. Apparently there was a back and forth between Schefter and Rappaport because they could never get their story straight. It was eventually confirmed Justin Fields dislocated his non-throwing shoulder, so his left shoulder.
Yep.
The Bears are 3-7. They probably want to get that. They probably want to get Fields as much experience and work as they possibly can, but not on a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
It is not out of the realm of possibility we won't see Fields again this year, which would totally suck because it looked like he was turning a corner or had turned the corner.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, a guy like Darnell Mooney, while Fields' status still hangs in the balance, is a good add-on in a trade to try to upgrade somewhere.
And Alex, I mean, if he hasn't been put on IR yet, then there's got to be hope somewhere.
I thought he was.
I thought he was too, but if he hasn't, then there's got to be some hope somewhere that he comes back sooner than later. But I thought that he was out for the year.
But he's been ruled out for the season.
Yeah.
That was 6 days ago. I mean,
they're just taking their time. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's Arizona. You can't put anything past them, dude. They're always...
They're a joke.
Yep. Tim Shields, Moreau or Juwan Johnson?
Juwan.
I want Juwan Johnson, man. He's the tight end 3 over the last 6 weeks. Yeah. And D-Lin, that did. Good to see you, D-Lin. We did talk about that a little earlier at the top of the show. Darnold might be a boost we saw it be good for DJ Moore. I would hope it stays good for Terrace Marshall, but we'll see. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And Greg Z, your other league is a mess.
I would play Moreau out of those options between Ingram, Fant, and Tunyon. I'm going Foster Moreau.
Moreau. Yep.
And then Palmer is fine there. I don't know how many options you have. I guess I would go Palmer.
And London's fine too moving forward. If there's no Pitts, you can
Palmer,
go the other
London,
way.
Yeah, Palmer, then London, then Cooks.
Yeah.
And if Murray's out, I mean, Mariota's been fine. Dalton's been fine. Do you need to pick one of these guys up,
I'm not
Greg?
playing Mariota, no Pitts.
Yeah, I guess not. Ryan's got a good Greg, let's get some more context. Do you need to pick one of these dudes up? Do you need to drop one of these guys? Do you already have them all available to you?
I guess out of those options, maybe I do just play Mariota, no Pitts, because you do have the stack with London, and it's a heavy stack at that.
And he'll run. And Mariota will run.
I'm doing that. Yeah, Mariota, London, and make sure you play London.
Yeah.
And you'll be all right. Yeah, you can benefit from Pitts out. You have London.
Yeah.
Roll into it. D-Lin, trade Watson, Pickens, Garrett Wilson.
Trade for Watson, Pickens. I would think the buy low window on Watson is not open right now. It might be for Wilson. It could be for Garrett Wilson. Honestly, I'll say this might be. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but this might be what Elijah Moore needed.
Could be.
Because Elijah Moore had his good games last year, not with Zach Wilson. He had them with the backup quarterbacks. And I know he didn't exactly do great with Joe Flacco in there to start this year, but at least he was doing something. Now,
that was also,
what transpired between the beginning of the season and now was probably some in-house issues, not just performance on the field.
But, I mean, Denzel Mims has looked real good with his minimal targets, too, in his own right.
Yeah. Maybe he's
starting
to
just because this might be good for Elijah Moore,
But
I think Denzel Mims has solidified. I think over the last few weeks, Denzel Mims has solidified maybe the fact that Corey Davis is really not going to be in their plans next season, even though I think he is still signed. But I think they can cut him, save some money, and throw Denzel Mims out there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can. I'm pretty sure the cap hit goes down. But But also to that point, who were we more intrigued and excited about coming into the season? Like, let's be real.
Oh yeah, no,
It was Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair. We still expect that he is the better talent here.
Yes.
I am curious to see. Yes, Garrett Wilson could be a decent buy low. I'm curious to see what happens here if Elijah Moore now he's got to get out of the doghouse first. He hasn't proven that he's done that yet, even though he did get into the game and get a couple.
I just want to make a comparison here. Brandon Ayuk, doghouse,
sure.
San Fran connections there,
sure.
Right?
Sure.
What a difference a year makes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
So he doesn't have top 25 upside rest of this season, but just wanted to call attention to
Pickens does and Watson does. Garrett Wilson, I'm not real sure about. We'll see.
Yeah.
Depends if they go to Flacco and he starts throwing 60 times a week again.
If Flacco starts, if they go to Flacco and they start throwing it 50 times a game, then let's go. Wheels up. Agreed.
Seattle, Miami, or Minnesota defense this week. We are Miami. Just roll Miami, everybody.
Miami.
And Tim Shields, 2 wide receivers in a flex, full PPR. Would you start Christian Watson or Latavius Murray in the flex? Full PPR.
Who do the Broncos play? Oh, they're on the road in Carolina.
It's simple, man. Latavius floor, Christian Watson ceiling.
Yeah, Latavius. Yeah, Latavius is your floor play. Watson is your ceiling play. Yep.
The Nemo, Vanilla Vic, or the disappointing Joshua Allen this week? What do you mean the disappointing Joshua Allen this week? He had 1 week, bro. One not superstar week.
You got to play Allen.
Come on, bro.
He just wants your shades.
Abraham Venia got offered Najee and Sutton for Mixon and Garrett Wilson. I would, if I'm getting the Mixon Garrett Wilson side, I would have to think pretty hard about that.
You got offered Najee and Sutton, so you'd be getting Najee and Sutton and giving up Mixon and Wilson. I say no to that. I hear that you're in must-win mode, and you're probably not going to have Mixon this week, but it looks like you have some pretty strong running backs to turn to. You already have Jefferson, you already have Pittman, you already have No. You have Sutton.
Yeah, so you'd be getting Mixon and Garrett Wilson. I would do this and then make sure to land Samaje Perine on waivers if you're getting Mixon and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, all right, okay, sorry. I read it backwards, I guess. Or
but you're not going to use Garrett Wilson. You have Jefferson, Pittman, Terry, Boyd. You're not going to really use Garrett Wilson, but you could use Mixon once he's back. I might use Mixon ahead of Montgomery over Montgomery and Sanders. And Montgomery's in your flex. Yeah, and then you're got a really solid team. So make the trade if you're getting Mixon and Wilson, and then get Samaje Perine for this week.
Be running off waivers.
Yep. Fantasy realist, Gabe Davis or Christian Watson. I got to continue to say it's Gabe Davis, but it's close, very close.
It's close. It's a great matchup for Gabe.
Yeah.
It's a tougher matchup for Christian Watson, potentially seeing Darius. He might be the one who has to see Darius Slay. And if it's not him, then it's Bradbury. So, whereas Gabe Davis is playing a Lions defense that is, they're giving up the 3rd highest yardage total to wide receivers in the NFL.
And
I'll play Gabe.
I'm playing Gabe. And Nemo, man, Fields might not just be out this week. He might be out indefinitely. We'll see. Throw your team in the Discord and we'll see.
Yep.
George Cook, am I flexing Dameon Pierce or Mike Evans this week? Have PPR.
Evans.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Dameon Pierce's floor.
Yeah.
You don't want to run that back.
It's not a good one. We have seen Dameon Pierce's floor, and it's not one that you feel like you can stomach week to week. Houston's on the road in Miami, who's I don't. That's not a great matchup by the numbers. It's not the worst, but it's not It's not very good. Mike Evans has earned that wide receiver 1 track record. Evans.
And yes, Marco Tucci, if you can trade away Jacoby Myers to get Cordarrelle Patterson, you do that in a second right now, dude. No Kyle Pitts moving forward, so he's going to get even more of the offensive work. Patterson, to the moon. And you saw what he did on special teams, too. The dude just broke an NFL record, man. And you can't count on that every week, but the fact is he presents that value, too. So if your league counts those points gotten through special teams, that's just even more of a boost for him. He can get you 10 points out of nowhere, basically.
Now, you would be trading from a position based on your wide receivers that's not necessarily one of strength. Dotson could be a drop here. Slayton is a hold, especially with Wan'Dale Robinson going down for the year, and obviously Olave and Pittman are. But if these are your top wide receiver options, I would just caution here. Running back depth is good. Probably should make the move, but we need to work the waiver wire for wide receiver help. Yes.
List who's in your waiver wire, pool right now, and we can help you figure that out.
Yeah. Yep.
And D. Linney with the defense advice. Good to see it.
Yeah,
good to see it.
I mean, the Patriots are not that great on offense, but they do what they do well is what Minnesota does poorly on defense, which is stop the run. So I would be a little leery of that. But on a short week, again, I do, as you guys know, if you haven't heard me say it before, I'll say it again. I do like, usually in a vacuum, home teams on a short week.
And again, Rico and Senior Rojo, thank you again for these super chats. That was very, very kind of you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And Nemo D. Linney, hey, bad luck. It happens. Bad luck.
Yeah, man. It is.
Just got to work your way through it. Work on
that. We've all been there.
Hit that waiver wire. Make some trades if your deadline's still open.
Yeah.
And D. Linney, you just traded Cooks and a 23-second for Tony to stack with Mahomes. First weekend lineup, hammy and a donut. Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
He's a little volatile.
It's a little bit. I mean, I get the price tag.
No, that makes sense. Cooks is going to be aging out, maybe a little. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I get the price tag. It just sucks now that you're dealing with the hammy and a donut. That's what you have to deal with when you have Tony, right. Which is why at the first sign of any consistency, I'm kind of trading him and hoping that I can get, something like that deal back. So it's not that you gave up too much or gave up too little or whatever. You paid the asking price.
Right.
Me personally, I would just probably rather be on the other side of that deal. But maybe it works out with Mahomes and it's awesome and you paid basically nothing. You paid basically a second round pick for Mahomes' wide receiver of the future. I don't know. So basically for a second, it's not a bad deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thoughts on Rachaad White rest of season? We love Rachaad White rest of season.
He's gonna be good, or he should be, as long as he gets a fair shot, a fair crack at opportunities. If Leonard Fournette is healthy, then we have yet to see it play out. Where does Rachaad White get a consistent, 50-50 workload at least?
Yep.
If Fournette is out, it's got RB1 upside. If Fournette is in, he could be an RB2, he could be an RB3. Like, we don't know.
And D. Linney, that is a very solid set of wide receivers there in Dynasty. Good job.
Yeah, pretty good. I like that. And J-Mo coming back. Man, I hope he plays. I was worried that he wouldn't play at all this year, but I hope he he's not going to play on Thanksgiving. But like, if he can get in there in Week 13, man, that would be cool. That would be awesome.
And DJ Nightmare, would you give up Fields for Jamal? Or first off, Tanner Nelson. No, I wouldn't trade Miles Sanders unless I'm flush at running back and need some added depth at wide receiver.
Yeah, but I have
other than that, flush. I'm not making any deals for trading away Miles Sanders. Not right now.
I don't want to trade in a vacuum. I don't want to trade running backs. I want to acquire them.
And Miles Sanders is actually another one of those running backs that you should be acquiring right now. Because he's coming off, I think, a 2-game slump, right?
Yeah, he didn't have a great game last week or the week before. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I'm not trading Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
And yes, I am giving up Fields for Jamar if I'm in a 1 QB league and I have a solid swerve, because with the basically his status being up in the air, Jamar Chase, we at least, there's rumblings that he's going to be coming back next week. Fields, we don't know.
Right.
If somebody's willing to invest in that uncertainty, let him and go get Jamar. And no, it's not good for Montgomery if Justin Fields is gone. I mean, that he was the reason that they were in scoring positions that helped out Montgomery. D. Lenny, Elijah Moore is a top 10 wide receiver talent in the league. I don't know about that.
I think he's good.
He was
I don't know about
ninth
top 10,
best.
but he's good.
He was 9th best in route run win rate last year, so I'll give him that. He was top 10 in that, which is a stat that we all like here. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out, how it plays out. Edward Reyes, start one. Pacheco, Latavius, or Treylon Burks. Pacheco, Latavius, Treylon.
In that order?
Yeah. Treylon has to show me one more week.
Pacheco's done. I mean, Pacheco did look pretty good with the ball. He didn't catch
just that
it. He's not scoring yet.
CEH is injured, so we know what his workload is going to be.
It's good. It should be more. Well, Clyde had, I think, 2 touches beforehand. I guess, I don't know how much more his workload grows, because it feels like he already took what he needed to from
And he went over 100 yards. Like, I'm cool.
I know he went over 100 yards. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
So Pacheco, Latavius, Burks. Like, Burks, yes, he went over 100 yards, but one was on a 50-yarder. So if he doesn't get a long play there, his yardage is lesser. And people are talking about his last 2 weeks. I think that's kind of the wrong way to look at it. His week 10, he was wide receiver 70. Yes, he had 6 targets. But, I mean, yeah, you can lump those together and say he had 14 targets and 7 receptions for, 130-some-5 yards over the last 2 weeks. But really, he had one bad week and one good week. So coming off of one good week, I'm not willing to go all in on Treylon Burks, which is why I have him 3rd, even though it is a PPR ranking here. Latavius, we know he's getting the volume. So Pacheco, Latavius, Burks for me. What are you going with?
Pacheco's enticing. Murray's. I mean, all of these are all very decent, interesting options. Pacheco could get a lot of work in a game that the Chiefs should control. It is a tougher matchup by the numbers, but they are at home. Murray's in a great matchup, but they are on the road, and Denver stinks. And as enticing as it is to play a team like Carolina, Murray should get plenty of work. It's a little harder to trust bad teams on the road, because that's what the Broncos are, a bad team. Burks is on, a good team in a game that I think is going to it will go a long way in determining playoff seeding between the Titans and the Bengals. So this game means a lot for both of these teams. Aren't they both 7-3, something like that? Maybe the Bengals are 6-4. So this is that point of the season where you can kind of start having that conversation. What is the level of importance of these games? That might push Burks ahead of Latavius for me by a slight edge, but I do think that, the player on the best team, best offense, gunning for the 1 seed at this point, Pacheco is pretty enticing.
Yeah,
Floor feels safe. All he needs to do is fall into the end zone one of these times to give you ultimately an 18, 19, 20-point week.
And it's honestly crazy that he hasn't fallen into the end zone yet.
I think he did way back in
week 1 but still, you know what I mean? Since he started getting a real workload.
Right.
Yeah. So October 24, good to see you. What's up?
What's happening in October?
Nemo, that's an aberration. I don't think that sentence has ever been said before in the English language. You've lost 2 out of the last 3 since getting Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones has outscored him by 13 in the last 2 weeks. That's crazy. That's never going to happen again. Go back to Josh Allen.
that elbow injury stinks.
But
it does
crazy
stink.
stat.
Yeah, it is. The elbow injury stinks. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yo, D-Lenny with the Daryl Henderson college stats.
I like Daryl Henderson was a really good. He was a 3rd-round pick. He was a good prospect coming in. I don't really know. I mean, look, he hasn't been like stellar or spectacular for the Rams, but he's been solid. 4.5 yards. There you go. Yeah, he's been pretty solid. I don't know why the Rams just decided they didn't like him.
The only running back that they have liked is Todd Gurley. And
somebody's going to get a good running back
off
waivers.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Somebody's getting a pretty good running back off waivers. I mean, I'd rather have Henderson than, regardless of situation, whether I was a rebuilding team or a contending team, I'd rather have Henderson than Melvin Gordon as far as waived running backs. I don't know what the Rams are doing here. Not really sure.
No, I mean either. They're telling running backs to go home in Cam Akers and then chill for a few weeks and come back, and like maybe that situation cleared itself up to the point where they now have faith in him moving forward. They must if they're making a move like this, because I don't think Darrell Henderson was a guy that was a problem in the locker room like I think Benjamin might be or might have been for the Cardinals, which is maybe the reason why that move happened. I tried watching that HBO mid-season special for the Cardinals to see if there was anything in the first 3 episodes about Benjamin, and there was nothing there.
They scrubbed those tapes.
Yeah, we're not getting those. We're not getting that info. Joe Harris, a wizard is never late. Thanks for hitting the like button. 12-team PPR, and you're 5-6. You have the 7th waiver. Who do you guys like the most of these guys? Murray, Perrine, Burks, Akers, Palmer. Wow.
Good options. There's some good options. There's some good options.
If you need a win over the next 2 and you're 5-6, so I think you do, then it's Pacheco or Murray.
Well, he doesn't have.
It's Murray. I'm sorry, I saw Pacheco there.
Yeah, or his team is. He already has Pacheco on his team.
Then get Murray.
Dobbins is not an option for you, just point blank. And I don't think is that Demarcus Robinson? He's not either. In some order, because I doubt you're going to get the running backs being the 7th waiver claim, but you might end up with Burks. And honestly, I would put James Cook ahead of Burks. If you can get James Cook, then fine. Especially because you have Tyreek, Pittman, Metcalf. I would say you have CMC, but there's a little bit more question marks. I would put James Cook. I would put all of the running backs first, like in some order. Again, I don't think you're going to get Perrine, but I would put him 1.
I just saw that 7th waiver claim. Got you.
Yeah. Perrine 1, Murray 2, Akers 3, Cook 4, Palmer 5. I would put Palmer higher, but I don't think you need him as much. And then Burks 6. Perrine, Murray, Akers, Cook, because you just said 5-6. You need a win this week, right? Or that's what I assume.
And honestly, is Kyron Williams on the wire? If Akers is on the wire, I would put in a waiver claim for him over. Because you might need
Burks.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, over Palmer. Palmer exploded.
No, not over Palmer, but over Burks.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Yep.
But if you do need a win this week, and if you're 5-6, then obviously nothing is guaranteed. Perrine 1, Murray 2. It is a tough matchup, by the way, for Samaje Perine going against the Tennessee. Tennessee's defensive line is very good. I should point that out. Yep. They're very good, and they shut down. The Packers running backs had a tough time against them on Thursday night. Just want to call that out. But Perine might get 20, 22, 23 touches if Mixon's out.
And that's why, I mean, you're always using him because he was a volume-based runner.
You're hoping he comes through on volume,
right?
But it is a tough matchup.
Yeah,
Tennessee's defensive line is very good.
And D-Lenny's a Viking fan. Hey, D-Lenny, I secretly hate you.
You secretly, not so secretly,
not so secretly for that last game. For that last game, man, their second to last game, man. Yeah, I'm officially not a Vikings fan. And I would start Montgomery. Tim.
Monty over Carter. Who the Bears get
Yep.
this year?
And I'd start Montgomery over Murray too, even if you get him.
Yeah.
And this gravity. I mean, your team looks good. You get a little bit of a boost from your QB very soon. You got Pollard, and honestly, I'm playing Pollard over Pierce right now, so I'd make that move right there in your lineup. It sucks that you lost Goddard. It sucks that you've had to deal with Swift, but you're 6-5, so you're on the winning side, or you're on the side of where you want to be there. And, you know, St. Brown is healthy for you. Christian Watson's finally firing. Eckler's been steady. Like, your team is looking up. So stand pat. But swap out Pierce for Pollard right now. And then it's a question of would you rather play Pierce or Christian Watson? For me.
Yeah. I might go back to the well with Pierce one more time. Well, I don't know.
No, and then it's a floor ceiling situation again. It's field ceiling, Christian Watson, floor, Damian Pierce after what he showed last week.
Right.
But I am making a point to play Pollard. But yeah, stand pat and this gravity, you'll get it. And Delaney helping out. Pascal, you have Godwin on your bench. Should you send Mixon and Godwin for JT as a playoff move? So since I don't really use him on my squad.
I mean,
no.
Well, who are your other running backs? Or who's do you have? If you have Hopkins, who else are you starting? Just out of curiosity.
If I have an access of really good players, the only reason that I'm trading them away is if I'm getting significantly better elsewhere on my roster. If my roster is real good and I'm like making trades for Godwin and D-Hop and don't even need to use them at that point and all that, like, can I trade for Kelsey? Can I trade for a difference maker at a position where everybody else is legitimately struggling if they don't have Kelsey or Kittle or Andrews? Can I trade for a difference maker that is going to propel me into the championships? Mixon and Godwin for JT. Like, JT hasn't been a slam dunk. Yes, that offense is, trending up, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to do quite that. You drafted Kelsey, so you have him. All right. Then who's your QB? You bought low on Jamar. Your other running back is ETN.
Yeah.
So you have Mixon and ETN, and you want to upgrade from Mixon to JT. All right, hey, if you want to do that, sure, but I would try to get a little bit back because, like, you're giving away an RB1 and a wide receiver 1 for an RB1. It's a little bit better of an RB1, and you have Hurts, man. You got a super team, but try to get a little bit of something back.
Yeah. The potential drawback of trading really good depth, even if it's on your bench, is if you sustain an injury to your starting lineup, and then all of a sudden,
Is Allen Robinson really a top waiver claim?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, D-Lenny. Or I mean Xavier Dubs. Would not go that far.
Nah, he's not a top waiver. Nah.
He scored a touchdown, so good for him, but it was still only on 5 targets. I'm not going crazy. I think you're fine. And Henderson's contract was done at the end of the year. I mean, possibly. But then wouldn't the team go out and frame it like that immediately from the get-go? Usually when that sort of thing happens, the team kind of goes out of their way to frame it like that. Oh, Xavier C. Hey. Got you. Ha. Good shit. Yeah, Pascal's got a super team. D. Linney, Jameson Williams worth the gamble now if you will make the playoffs and wide receivers are weak. I mean, I don't know, man. He was a guy that I was all in on. People kind of trading away at the height of the hype to get an actual player who was going to help them on their fantasy teams. Then he was never really a play for me this season. I don't think he plays next week. I don't think he plays for a few weeks. We'll see what happens. I'm not willing to say that he's, a threat in the playoffs. I need to see him on the field first for multiple weeks, playing at a high level.
Yeah.
There are other gambles I'm going and trying to get or working on if I'm trying to make the playoffs than Jameson Williams. I'm trying to trade away Jameson Williams. But we are at the bottom of the chat here, and we're only an hour and 30 minutes in. If anybody else has any more questions, let us know. But just a reminder, we offer 99-cent memberships to anybody who's interested. Gives you 2 extra streams with us a week. That's 8 extra streams a month, and it's only for 99 cents. And you can check that option out or any of the other members options below in the description today, down below, first link in the description today. I can't speak. You know what I mean?
It's all good. It happens.
And
but I think you covered it. Membership options, first link. I feel like I need to update something that I had prepped for that, but anyway, yeah. Discord, third link.
Is the draft kit still showing in there?
I think it did. I didn't remove it yet.
Yeah, we have to double check on that after the spring.
Yeah, that's we gotta get rid of that. That's useless at this point.
Yeah, but Tommy also has Hurts, got Kirk, Diggs, Aaron Jones, Jeff Wilson, Schultz, and you need a flex option. Devonta Smith, Leonard Fournette, DJ Moore, Pacheco. Devonta Smith, man. In full PPR, Devonta Smith.
Who do the Eagles have this week? I actually don't even know. Who are the Eagles playing? Oh, the Packers on Sunday night. Yeah, you could. DJ Moore is interesting. Pacheco is interesting. I guess Devonta Smith.
No, I mean, he has a wide receiver 29 2 weeks ago, wide receiver 25 last week, 8 targets, 9 targets in back-to-back weeks, 6 receptions in back-to-back weeks, scored a touchdown 2 weeks ago. Like, cool. I'm going back to that with no Dallas Goedert in the near future.
True.
So Devonta Smith, man. And
that ceiling. He's got spike week potential.
Yeah. But if anybody else has any more questions for us, let us know. Again, Nick has his box.
If I have any other. Sorry?
You have your box score Wednesdays tomorrow for the members. And then, yeah, I mean, we got streams this weekend. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to week 12 already. I can't believe we're already to week 12.
Yeah, I mean, now's the time to tighten up your roster if you're in good shape for the playoffs, and just now you can take it literally one. Like, there's no forward thinking to be concerned about if your record is under 500, but you're still mathematically alive. Play one day at a time. You're fighting to live till tomorrow. you can like Kyron Williams isn't going to do you that much good if you're 3-8, right? He's probably the guy that needs to be dropped if there's an option for you for this week. You worry about those types of pickups when you actually have games that matter, when it's week 15, right?
Yep.
So, obviously all of this advice it doesn't necessarily pertain to your situation. What we like for one person might not be what we like for you. So you just act accordingly. You guys know what you're doing. If your record's not very good, you don't play for tomorrow, you play for this week. But if you're 7-3, take your shots on guys like Kyron Williams, guys like Jerick McKinnon. But if you need something this week, Latavius Murray makes sense. Pirine makes sense. Akers makes sense. But moving forward, those guys might be a little less desirable after this week, after 2 weeks from now.
Yep. And a few more questions here. Big Trev, need a QB because Kyler more than likely won't play. You have Vanilla Vic. The best other options would be Trevor Lawrence, but you have the Ravens defense, so don't necessarily love that combo. I mean, if you can play Daniel Jones, then play Daniel Jones. He's a solid streamer. The high-end QB2. I'm fine rolling with him if Kyler doesn't play. But hey, it's another year where Kyler is hurt. Towards the end of halfway through the season, towards the end of the year, Kyler's hurt. It impacts their season. We'll see how much this injury that he's has sustained recently derails his season this year. But we were hoping this wouldn't be the season where that happens. And there we go. Happening again. Right. Tommy Talago, your other team got Dak, Waddle, T. Higgins, CMC, Barkley, Freiermuth, need another flex option, DPJ, Thielen, Damian Harris, or Michael Carter, full PPR. DPJ, man.
Yeah, he's been money.
Yeah.
He's been money. Who did the Browns play this week? And they can't stop anybody on defense, which means they have to stay aggressive on offense. Cleveland gets, I already forget. Oh, Tampa Bay at home. Yeah, DPJ.
Yeah.
Thielen's enticing at home, but he's very hit or miss right now.
He's not even hit or miss. He's just a lot of miss.
Well, the whole offense was a miss last week, but
yeah.
Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been 7, 8, 9 points the past 3 weeks before last week.
And even last week, 2 weeks ago, it was in overtime. He got some extra. But regardless, D. Linney.
The Bills. That might have been one extra catch, but yeah. Yeah.
D. Linney, that's how it goes. That's the game we play.
Yeah.
Xavier, is it worth trading D-Hop? I mean, it depends. Again,
what do you get?
It's situational. Depends what you're getting. Depends on your team makeup. So throw all that info in the chat and let's talk about it. Did we ever get to who else was throwing their team in the Discord? Was that Nemo?
He said he was going to. I don't see it yet, but yeah, drop that in there whenever you want. Yeah, Discord's a good spot for any other follow-up questions. Or if you just want to become part of a community where it's fun, it's growing, and people start to shit talk about their takes, and it's funny to watch. Trying to think about any other final thoughts here. Kind of just gave a bit of a generic overview about how to approach this week's waiver depending on your situation. Yeah. I think that's about it for me.
With what question? I'm sorry.
I just said I think that's about it. That's pretty much that's all I got. Tommy's got one more question, but I think I've said my piece today. Just approach waivers depending on what you need. Depending on your team makeup.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes every week.
Don't worry about the long view if you're under 500.
And Tommy, Schultzer and Njoku and Freiermuth or Higbee and Dolphins or Eagles and Commanders or Eagles. All right, Schultz,
Schultz, Higbee, Dolphins, Eagles.
Yes. Yeah.
Schultz, Higbee, Dolphins, Eagles.
Easy. There you go.
Yeah.
But y'all, it does look like we're winding down a little bit. Some people are heading out. We still got a few people with us.
The holiday week.
Yeah, shorter stream today. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for the couple of people who supered. Thanks for anybody who subbed. Yeah, enjoy the Thanksgiving weekend if you celebrate. If you don't, enjoy the regular ass weekend.
You celebrate. You celebrate.
There you go. And then
enjoy the football.
Yeah, football all day Thursday and
Thursday football.
Yeah, watch the Bills beat up on the Lions. Is Marlon Mack worth adding? D. Lenny? Probably. I mean, speculatively, sure, but not as a waiver claim. He's a guy you pick up tomorrow in the morning.
That's what he said. If you miss out on everybody else, I guess.
And I'm not really even expecting.
Even if he does, yeah.
But yo, we'll see y'all soon. Thanks for chilling.
Have a good night, everybody.